Lois Griffin may be the most sensible member of the Family Guy family, which kinda says a lot, but she's also got a dark side. From getting involved in illegal schemes to showing a darker, unpredictable side, she isn't as innocent as she looks. Here are 10 times where her actions cross the line so far, she likely deserves some time behind bars. Starting off with number 1 in the Family Guy episode, Breaking Out is Hard to Do, Lois Griffin unexpectedly finds excitement in shoplifting. Oof. You see, what starts as a little thrill quickly grows as she begins stealing more and more items from the local supermarket. The rush of doing something risky leads her to take things that she normally wouldn't, but her shoplifting soon gets her into some serious trouble with the law. Well, she gets arrested and sentenced to 3 years in prison. Her actions, needless to say, shock the entire family, who are left to deal with the mess, exposing a surprising rebellious side to Lois that they never saw coming.
That was old to me. It's why I always talk and ask questions so much. When there's any moment of quiet, I think about her.
At number 2, we've got this Family Guy episode where you can learn a surprising secret about Lois's dark past. This entire episode mainly follows 2 storylines, Brian falling for a show dog, and Peter and Lois trying to reveal to Chris that Arthur Valentine, a fictional character they created to brighten up his Valentine's Day, isn't actually real. Yeah, to break the news, they stage an elaborate accident where Arthur is run over by a car. Lois, on the other hand, casually admits to killing a jaywalker while comforting Chris as he goes into depression. This dark confession reveals Lois's shockingly wild side, going way beyond her typical actions.
You into?
Pinkberry. I love my job. Yum, 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 yum.
In the Family Guy episode, Lois comes out of her shell. She experiences a midlife crisis, which leads her to make some rather unexpected decisions. One of her more questionable actions was slipping into a Justin Bieber performance and attempting to seduce the teenage pop star. This daring and odd move, especially coming from a lady in her 40s, doesn't go as planned. Peter steps in classic Family Guy style, ends up attacking Bieber to protect Lois. Even though Bieber had recently turned 18, the whole situation is just wildly inappropriate and undeniably illegal, showing just how far Lois was willing to go during her crisis. And with everything about P. Diddy and Bieber lately, this episode did not age well at all.
God, we're hurting our own hometown. All those drugs that are flooding into Quahog are from us.
Oh, yeah?
At number 4, we've got this Family Guy episode where Lois finds herself entangled in a situation that pushes her far beyond her usual boundaries. When the Griffin family moves to a farm to escape Quahog's rising crime rates, they quickly realize that farming is much harder and far less profitable than they had anticipated. Well, struggling to make ends meet, they stumble upon an abandoned meth lab in their storm cellar. Naturally, in true Walter White fashion, instead of reporting it, Peter suggests that they start cooking meth to cover their losses. And surprisingly, Lois agrees. Initially hesitant, she soon embraces her role in the drug operation, marking one of her most shocking and illegal ventures ever.
I was a little naughty. I may have dipped into the tax surplus.
Wait a minute, you used taxpayer money to buy yourself a handbag?
At number 5, we got the episode where Lois reveals her true colors. She starts out with good intentions, planning to clean up the local lake, and even decides to run against Mayor Adam West to protect the environment. May that man rest in peace. But pretty soon things take a bad turn. After raising money to clean the lake, Lois begins using taxpayer funds to buy herself expensive handbags. Well, things get worse when an oil company bribes her with a fancy fur coat and she agrees to let them dump waste back into the lake. Well, in the end, she finds that she's become the very thing that she was battling against, putting her selfish interest ahead of her commitment to the community and environment. Has she completely crossed the line here? Well, share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's move on to Stewie's silent suffering.
Accident.
We have to cover this up.
What?
Let's put a hat on him to cover the wound, and then let's get some makeup and draw eyeballs on his eyelids and find...
At number 6, we see Lois take things to an entirely new level when she tries to cover up Stewie's injuries. So he ends up with a really nasty head wound after some rough play with his siblings. Now, instead of taking him to the hospital, Lois and Peter try to hide the injury like it's no big deal. Well, things get worse when Peter decides to make it look like Stewie's injuries came from an accident with the family car. Shockingly, Lois goes along with the plan, helping Peter cover up the incident rather than facing the consequences. Not exactly winning Mother of the Year here.
Merry Christmas.
Easy, lady. You want some of this?
In this Family Guy episode, we get a glimpse of Lois's struggle to keep the Christmas spirit alive, but things don't quite go as planned. She starts off strong, decorating, buying gifts, and managing her chaotic household. But when she finds out that they're out of paper towels, it's the final limit. She cracks and goes on an attack through town, destroying a Frosty the Snowman display. And by the time that she climbs the town Christmas tree, the police are called in to handle the situation. Well, just as she gets a moment of clarity, they shoot her with a, tranquilizer dart, knocking her out for the holiday. A volatile conclusion to her little Christmas meltdown. Well, she deserved to go to jail for her out-of-control behavior, which turned her holiday chaos into a complete disaster that nobody saw coming.
Put the phone down, Kyle H.
At number 8, we've got this episode where Lois gets obsessed with becoming Customer of the Week at her favorite coffee shop. Well, when she doesn't win, she freaks out and tries to buy the title with a $600 piece of art. When that doesn't work, she causes a car crash by using a barista's peanut allergy, thinking that she'll save the day and win the award. But things get progressively worse when she kidnaps a coworker and his roommates to hide what happened. Her wild actions here would definitely land her in jail for at least 20 years, maybe even life. If you can count all of her crimes, she'd probably spend multiple lifetimes in prison.
I just read Trisha Takanawa's book, and it was really inspiring. She says that when you declutter your house,
In this episode, Lois gets obsessed with cleaning out after reading a book called Throw It Away by Trisha Takanawa. You see, she decides to get rid of everything in her house that doesn't spark joy, including her husband Peter and the kids. She even tells Meg to leave because her voice is cluttering up the space. After kicking everybody out, she's left alone in an empty house. But instead of feeling happy, she realizes that she's still not content. Her crazy mood swings and extreme actions make this episode hilarious. But let's be honest here, she definitely deserved to go to jail for kicking out her family and throwing away everything, even her loved ones.
Lose, lady.
You have two choices. Either my baby swings from this jungle gym, or you do.
Finally, we've got this episode where she gets fed up with being overlooked and joins a taijutsu class, quickly mastering the art and gaining newfound confidence. Yeah, she even threatens another mom at the playground, much to Stewie's amusement. But things really escalate when she takes on a group of drunk strangers at a bar, easily taking them down, including Kryptonians. Her black belt graduation is a victory, but her actions could easily have landed her in jail for all the chaos that she caused. These 10 moments show that Lois isn't as innocent as she appears. Sometimes she might just be the most dangerous Griffin of them all. So let us know what you think in the comments below. And make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring that bell so you can always stay updated, and we'll see you in the next one.